I'm in Shenandoah National Park, and this is the Old Rag overflow lot. It's about 9:45, and the main lot's already full. This is the overflow lot. There's the gray ghost. I'm gonna close up the ghost. I'm not hiking to the Old Rag summit today. I'm just gonna do a recon hike. I'll explain more as I go along here. The elevation here is 920 feet. Eight-tenths of a mile into my hike. I'm up to 1,270 feet, and this is the intersection with the Ridge Access Trail. When I leave, I'm going to go back that way just to pick up a GPS track so I can see what it is. That's the way I came from. Parking lot's way over there somewhere, and I got another couple tenths of a mile to my jumping off point, and then I'm gonna, depending on the conditions, I might do a short little bushwhack into the woods looking for what I marked as Homestead number 18. I'll explain more when I do the map talk. I took a 1929 map and got the coordinates for all of the homesteads that were shown on that map along in Weakley Hollow here, and I put them all on a 1994 map and put them into Garmin Base Camp. And I'm having some problems with arthritis right now, so I'm not going to be doing any serious hiking, but I'm just kind of doing a little recon hike here. Nine-tenths of a mile into my hike. The elevation here is 1,330 feet. That's where I came from, and I'm at my jumping off point here. There's a hard left in the road here, and I'm going to call up my Homestead number 18, which is over there. With the information I've got, I'm going to say it's 300 or 400 feet. It's on the other side of that creek over there. So that doesn't look too bad down there. I may push over there and just to see if I see anything. If not, at least I'll know where my jumping off point will be for a wintertime hike. Yeah, so this is looking like what maybe used to be the road going over to this homestead. It's highly eroded here where it's steep. See all that? Comes down to here and makes a sweeping turn to the left and bottoms out down there, heading over that way, which is the way to where I think the homestead was by the old map, 1929 map. So I don't know, let's go a little further. Found a convenient spot to cross over the creek. It actually looks like somebody threw some logs in there to facilitate the process. I don't know. Anyway, the Old Rag Trail's over on the other side of that valley. Actually, maybe you can see some people up there moving. That's the Old Rag Trail there. And let me look at my GPS. Supposedly about another 250 feet up here on this hill. So let's see what's up here. 1.1 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 1,360 feet. I found the homestead. There's the rock pile right there. And if you look here, you can see that there, I'll get some stills. There's a foundation still coming up out of the ground. There's a corner over there. There's the other corner over there. So it's in between this tree and that tree over there. I'll get some stills. And actually, what I saw on LiDAR, let me turn around. What I saw on LiDAR might have been this big rock formation right here. I'm not sure. But anyway, right next to it is the homestead. I don't know anything about this place right now because the online Shenandoah land records database has not been working correctly for about a week now. I sure hope they can fix it, but so I have no way right now. Well, I guess I could go to the courthouse and start looking, but I'll just wait until the online records is back up. But there's the rock pile. They left part of the foundation here, and you know, it was probably a log cabin. They either tore it down or burned it down, one or the other. So this was worth the trek over here. Note to myself, I adjusted waypoint 18 by about 50 feet. It was pretty close, but now I have the exact coordinates. There's a piece of clay drain pipe. I flipped it over. Let me put it back. That's the way I found it, just like that. Here's another pile of rocks, pretty good size, just slightly below the level of the homestead. There's that second rock pile, and up there is the homestead. And I'm going to go over there. That might be another pile of rocks over there. So that looks like dry stacked stone there. And that might have been the entrance right there. There's no stone except for like a threshold stone. And then some more of it going down that way. And then at the back of this thing is the big pile back there. And then behind there, the mountain starts going up again. So here's a, I'm heading out of here back over to the trail. Here's a big rock pile a little bit to the east of the homestead. The homestead's up there past those big boulders, up on top of those big boulders. And this is to the east over here. And right here, I marked a location with my GPS. Another, that's a big rock pile right there. And then I'm headed downhill this way to cross over the creek and then climb back up to the trail, and then I'm going to head back to the parking lot. .75 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 1,070 feet. I'm down to Weakley Hollow Fire Road. There's where I came from. That trail there, it takes me out of my way a little bit going back to my car, but I wanted to get a GPS track so I can compare it to the old map from 1929. I'm pretty sure this was the road back in the day that went up to that Homestead 18. So now I'm going to head back towards my car, which is this way. Not sure if you can see that end state maintenance sign. It's got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's half a dozen or more bullet holes in it. So it's always nice to, you know, check out your handgun, make sure it's working good. This is a map of today's hike. The quadrangle name is Old Rag Mountain 1994. And the online records for Shenandoah, the historical records, that database is not working right now. So for now, we're calling this Weakley Hollow Homestead number 18. Once the online records comes back, I'll try to remember to go in and put the name of the actual family that lived there. I'm going to come back to this, but let's go back in the time machine for a minute to 1929. This is Stony Man 1929. And this is Weakley Hollow in through here. Okay. And Nethers is over in this direction. And what I have been doing is taking all of the old roads and all of the old homesteads in through Weakley Hollow here and putting them onto the 1994 map. Hold on a second. Which is this one. Okay. And the green are the old roads, and the pink color is the current day road. So when you walk up Weakley Hollow, you're walking along this pink. Here's the Old Rag Village crossroads right there. And so when you walk up here, you're not walking on the roads as they existed back in 1929. Those roads are these green ones, and they're on the other side of the creek. So when you're walking up through here and the creek is to your left, you got to cross over the creek to get to the good stuff, okay? And I started numbering these in a counterclockwise direction, coming up and then going back down. And then there's this one that's kind of over here all by itself, number 18. And that's the one I decided to hike to see if I could find it. So, now the other thing about the 1994 map is it does not show the Old Rag parking lots and the trails that lead out of the parking lots. So I put them in here myself. This is the new parking lot for the Old Rag hike right here. And you go past the ranger check-in station and across a bridge, and you'll be on this trail, Ridge Trail. So I hiked up this ridge trail, and it's fairly steep coming up through here. And you get up to a certain point, and it makes a turn to the right and heads west like this. And when you get to here, there's a concrete signpost there with an intersection from this trail coming up from the fire road, this one. And then you continue to climb the mountain up to my jumping off point, which was right there. When I got to here, I took a look around, and to get over to where this homestead was, you have to go down into a valley, into a little flat area, cross a creek, and then climb back up the other side up to here. So I did that, and when I first got up here, the only thing I really saw was a bunch of huge boulders, but then behind those boulders was the homestead. There's still a foundation, a stone foundation coming up out of the ground. I got pictures of that, and at the very southern end of it, right about there, is just a big pile of rocks. And then I explored down here just a little bit, looking for anything else. Didn't find anything. So then I basically came back down, and so I could get a GPS track, I went back to my car this way. I took this trail down to the fire road and then followed the fire road back to the parking lot. Now, one thing I want to point out is right about here on this trail, there's a bend in the road. If you turn around and look uphill, you'll see the trace of this abandoned section of the road right here. So I think this road came up, actually, there's part of it shown right here. I think the road came up this way and just went straight on up to about my jumping off point, and then made a hard right over to this homestead. Now, one other thing I'm going to point out. Here's the Weakley Hollow Fire Road, and it's hard to see on this map, but the creek is right in through here, and the old roads are over in here. The old roads are in this pink area. And Homestead 18 that I hiked to is over in here somewhere, also in the pink. Anywhere in this pink, you have to have an Old Rag day use ticket. So you get them online from recreation.gov. When they first put it in, I think it was $1. Now it's $2. Next year it'll be, $4. My plan next winter is to go back in through here and see how many of these old homesteads I can find. It's too late in the season to do any more of it, though. Anyway, this hike was 2.2 miles and a total ascent of 515 feet. That hike right there. And that's the hike for today.